Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Call this regularly scheduled Public Works and Public Utilities Committee meeting to order. Has attendance been taken?
Yes.
Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll start with comments from citizens.
I didn't even sit back down. Two things. They both are probably railroad issues, but I wanted to bring them to your all's attention. As you cross the South Railroad track on Hickman Street, the spur that goes into the building there, the railroad ties all rotted out, and there's a heck of a hole there. And it's right in the main driving lane. And the other one I brought up once before, but with the snow and stuff yesterday, it's where you cross Bruton on the Colt line, and I know you'll have to deal with Columbia, Railroad with it, but that really needs to be widened. There's probably 3 feet of where tracks are off in the snow right now on the south side of the road, and there really needs to be a sidewalk put through there also for those kids, because people meet there and there's nowhere for the kids on the regular day, and then when you got snow it's worse. So I just wanted to put it in everybody's mind to be talking to Colt and possibly getting that widened out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no other comments from citizens, we'll close that session and move on to water and sewer. Activity report. Is in the packet, right? Yes, there's the water one. Matt, anything?
No, it's been just kind of a normal month. People call with water leaks and we go fix them. It's about we did that. We had a major leak on Lakeview and Central. Fire hydrant leak busted. We're not sure the cause of that. They've been boring through there an awful lot, but we just went ahead and fixed it and got it taken care of. Replaced the motor on the secondary clarifier. We were trying to milk that along here, see if we can get into the project time for that upgrade, but it just wasn't going to make it and it was causing fits. So we went ahead and purchased a motor for that. We got it put on and electric guys helped us wire that up.
Any other winterization that needs to be done?
No, we took care of that, luckily before the first real bad cold hit, and had some stuff that we didn't realize wasn't gonna work, but we got all that fixed, so.
Anything other for water or sewer before we?
Just sewer wise, we did dig up, Head Street and Walnut. There at the intersection, we did find some infiltration that was causing a little bit of water to get into the sewer, so we did dig it and replace a little section there for that. So we did do that in the sewer.
Okay. So then on sewer, we still have a manhole lining proposal.
Yep, that is for the manhole, basically right behind Extreme Mart in the alleyway. Last time we were having a meeting, Visit Sewer was back there doing some lining. We noticed, and well, they really called us, and there was an abnormal amount of water coming in through that manhole. So we dug down thinking maybe the water main had a leak, exposed it. It wasn't the water main, and once they sealed it off with their lining, the joint that was leaking on our sewer main quit leaking, but it moved. It's mostly in the manhole now. I'm pretty sure it's probably coming from the storm sewer that's running right next to it, but it's the large 5-foot storm sewer that runs underneath Extreme Mart. And I would say, and Mike could probably agree with this, that if we do not do anything with it and that manhole blows apart, that's gonna cause a lot of issues throughout the town, so.
That's one of the lead, that's in the front headworks of all the sewer, everything all the way to the high school. So if we fill up quick there with an extra amount of rain, it's gonna block everybody back all the way to the high school. So it's just gonna cause more blockage. It's something we gotta get, and as bad as it's leaking, it's gonna push some mortar out. It's an old brick manhole. We'll be back pretty soon saying we gotta get this, and we've said this for the last couple of years, but storm sewer that runs under printers is the cause of this. And it's right next to the manhole, so not like it's real easy to dig up and replace it that way.
And it runs under the store, the tracks.
And it's got several
Catches
suck
lots of
holes on
water.
it, so that's a future project that has to be addressed.
So with this quote from Use Sewer, is this a permanent fix or temporary fix?
This will be a permanent, they'll basically reline this whole manhole with a mortar, a grout mortar, and then a coating on top of that. And they can get this pretty quickly.
And with our,
Something we'd have to vote on next week?
yes, just because with a new procurement policy, you would not have to normally vote on it, but it will put us over budget in this account. We're trying to figure out exactly how much that is going to be over budget.
Sounds like it is a need to do though.
It
Is
is.
this the right path or the right action to take?
I don't think you've got room to dig it up. You've got a water main and a gas main on both sides of it. And even to bring the manhole sections as it's coned, the wider part is underneath the water and gas. So it's gonna be hard to even get it out without breaking it. It's hard to break it because you can't get to it because of the water and gas. So I think our best bet's the line, we've got the sewer line, which was in desperate need. Now we need to get this fixed, keep those headworks working good.
Okay. Any other questions about this? Okay, anything else for other and water and sewer?
No, I don't know.
Okay, we'll move on to electric. Jeff, anything you want to point out in the activity report?
Most of our time was over on reading it, even underground in that primary and digging each house. Where we spent most of our money. So the last 3 or 4 days.
I will say I did notice the light was fixed really quick after it was brought up.
Well, you know, once somebody tells us, you know, we don't know about it.
And I hadn't even realized it.
Right.
Thing was told we were out there one night at a fire pit and we realized the light wasn't on. Okay, anything for generation and purchase? Distribution, nothing? So lighting options along sidewalk besides railroad tracks on South Columbia Street. This is the one that was talked about at the last meeting, wasn't it? Park area.
I believe so. It's the sidewalk that goes right along the Colt Railroad.
I've got it. I was supposed to be getting some numbers and stuff together this week. I haven't received it yet, but we'll make some kind of sober. Without having to do a lot of digging and tearing things up back there. Just might be an option we can look at.
We were looking at the budget today, and there's $5,000 set aside for other projects, other equipment in the street lighting fund. So we know that money set aside that we could use for this project if we need to.
Move on to Public Works. Activity report for streets is in the packet. Phil, anything you want to point out?
No, this is a pretty typical month. I mean, we did some drainage work, street expansion. Just very much a mobile business, really. Had Foster's come up and did finish getting rid of all the mulch. He had all the extra mulch and, got rid of quite a bit of brush, so I'm just gonna work with him and see if we can get him back up and get rid of a little more.
Anything for sanitation, storm sewer, other? Nothing? Okay. Move on to, Mike, your report. Anything you wanna point out?
Narragansett building's getting shorter.
When is that gonna be done?
Should be this week if weather, he didn't work today, but they said he worked yesterday, and I think a couple more days and he'll have the cleanup part, and then it'll just be taking the concrete out. He's got the basement part dug out, and then start compacting back in, so. Stowers cleaned up really well, Gary was pleased.
Where are they putting back in, the rock fill or?
He's talking like a 1 inch minus would be where we go back in. He hasn't specifically brought up, I know they got a bunch of dirt sitting on site that they're starting to haul in when they could, so I won't get any more for a little bit, but.
Okay, so our other on here is the disconnection notification process.
Right, that's,
Details on page 2 and 3.
yes. A couple of things that we would like to, we city staff, with the new UMS system, it's just the utility management system that, we're still in the process of, integrating to. We have the ability to change how we're formatting the bills. So Palmyra is one of the cities that we visited that had the same system, and we really liked what their bill form looked like. It was no longer a postcard, it was an envelope, so that means more postage. But they had a pretty neat machine that you could put the paper, you put the bills in, it folds it, stuffs it into the envelope, and seals it. And then Alderman Motley had asked me about purchasing the postage machine. We're still looking into it to find out exactly how much they are. The ones that I found were about $22,000. So we can rent it for $130 a month. Plus, and that includes the maintenance, so that's an advantage of renting them too. That they'll come and service them. But we're gonna look into both of those options. So, with that being said, we would, and this is another thing that Palmyra had done that we thought was a very good idea, saves a lot of staff time. They no longer send out a delinquent notice. They put the delinquent notice on the back of the bill, and that is a change. That would be a change for our customers, so we would have to get that information out a lot in the beginning, just to make people aware that they will only get one bill. So if they don't pay by the 15th, then they're not going to get another notice, but we will put it out on our Facebook page, we will put it out on our website, we have it on our calendar already on the website to reoccur for 10 years, to say that that is the due date, and then you know when the disconnection date would be. It would just save a lot of staff time and save us about $3,500 a year if we could go to that. So that's the part where if we can switch to this new system, we can do one delinquent notice. The other part of it is actually changing some of the wording in the delinquent notice and in the city code, and that's on page 3 of your packet. Towards the bottom, and we actually have had this brought up recently, it actually says that you shall pay a reconnection fee. We've had some people argue with us because they don't intend to have their service reconnected. So they don't think that they should have to pay the fee because it was disconnected for non-payment, because they don't intend to have it reconnected. We would like to change that to a disconnection fee. Just change the wording a little bit. That way we don't have to argue about the fees that we charge. And then there would be a 25, so if there is an after hours, it would be an after hours reconnection fee, because they wouldn't pay that unless they were actually having it reconnected after hours. So that would be our suggestion, and we're just putting it out there for, it would have to be for board approval, because we no longer to be sending that second notice on late bills. So we feel like it would.
So it just makes it easier when they come in. That's what it says now.
Yeah, a disconnection
It
fee.
just makes it black and white, you
Right.
just, sorry.
Right.
But there's a separate fee then for reconnection?
No. So there's an initial fee for disconnection, and if they have it reconnected throughout some time during our business hours, there's no additional fee charged. It's just the disconnection fee. If they have it reconnected after hours, then there is an additional after hours reconnection fee.
Now, will that be on the statement that they receive with the after-hours time?
Yes.
So that 7 something?
Yes. Yes, and we can change this notice of termination of electric service to add a second paragraph that we would automatically put that in there too.
Have we got the new time set already in place with the hooking the electricity back up?
Yes.
No more 2 o'clock in the morning stuff and 3 o'clock.
Or is it 7, probably,
4 p.m. to 7 p.m.,
and then weekends like 7 to 10.
7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And I put some calculations in here, and you guys see the total staff cost, and of course I have to do an estimate for every month, but for delinquent notices, we have at least 2 people spending an entire day just sending out delinquent notices right now.
Really?
Did you talk to Paul Ira and what they have to say about how it works?
They said it works really well now. Of course, there is some adjustment period, and they did try to do a lot of, letting people know any way that they could. Social media, newspaper, those kinds of things. And I feel that's the route we would want to go, to let people know that they see a change in their bill. It's going to come in an envelope. That it's going to be a full page instead of just a postcard. And that one of the really cool things that this system will allow us to do that we saw on their bill, I wish I had the copy of the bill I could show you guys, but we can even have to where it'll print a graph of your electric usage so that you can see what your electric usage was the same time this last year, right on your bill. Kind of, I think people have said
I see, Emmett was, I guess,
I've seen that in other cities.
Yes. So we would have that capability as well.
Well, when I look at this and I look at the cost of analysis, even if the future staff cost is underestimated a little bit, you've got a $3,500 wiggle room. It's still, if you're off at $1,000, you're still going to save money. It's going to save time, and it's still worthwhile. It looks like it based on the analysis here.
Right. And the total staff cost, it does change a bit because we wouldn't have the delinquents like we normally do, and right now, with the postcard bills, we actually print them on full sheets, and then Amy takes them over to Richmond Graphics and they laser cut them into postcards, and then whenever they come back, we have to count them all. So then you have staff spending, pretty much everybody in the office spending about an hour, hour and a half on bill day, counting bills and getting them ready to send out. So this would eliminate some of that too.
Just curious, there seems to be a fair amount of fluctuation in the postage cost for mailing it out currently. I
It
mean,
just-
I would have thought it would have been more consistent than that. I realize there'll always be some changes.
Yeah, and it just depends too. So if you have a lot of people that move out, this we pay more for out of town postage and things like that. So, or if certain people don't want their bill, if we have people change in the middle of the month and they want their bill emailed instead of mailed, or vice versa.
So 100% of all billing is by postage, by mail, right? There's nothing going online or anything like that. It's all.
No, we offer e-billing too, where we send an email
So
bill.
if they accept that, that knocks this down, right? Once you don't mail a postage.
Right.
Okay.
And they do have the option if they want to do e-bill and regular mail, they can do both, but most people that do e-bill just want the e-bill.
And the e-bill will be just like the postage bill? Until you disconnect and all that on it too?
Yep, it'll be the same exact form.
Right now, it looks like a postcard or pretty close to it.
biggest problem with the landing is when you have to turn the computer over to see the other side of it.
Don't sign Don up for evil.
He don't pay the bills anyway.
Might be fun to watch, and trying to read the backside.
It might be coming, you never know.
Okay, any more discussion on the notification process? I think with a little more information on equipment based off.
We will.
Okay. Any as may arise?
I just want to point out the paper that you all have in front of you. We were given this information today. There is it's a work camp that's going to be held in Mexico this summer, and it is to help people with repairs around their homes. So I wanted you all to be aware, because this is probably going to be in the newspaper. I know the gentleman that I talked to, Bob Stanford, was headed over to the Guard. So we believe it'll help, lower income or elderly households, and there's a list of things that they'll help them do on just, repairs around their house. And the reason that we were getting this is because the home has to be within 30-minute drive of the Mexico High School, which is where the kids attending this camp will stay during the summer. And so he wanted to reach out to Centralia to see if there might be any homes that, households that could use this. So we're also going to give a copy to the senior center so that they'll have that information as well. If you all think of any other places that we could get the word out, could be a benefit to some of our citizens.
You might actually send it to all the churches, let them put it in their bulletins.
All right.
I know I'm not supposed to speak, but
That's a good idea.
Okay, a motion to adjourn?
I'm making motion, adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay. We've adjourned the Public Works and Public Utilities Committee meeting. Mr. Wilkins is out today. He's asked me to chair the next meeting. Do we need a break before we start? Anyone? Going once? Going twice? Okay. I'm calling the General Government and Public Safety Committee, General Government and Public Safety Committee meeting to order. I have 7:22. Attendance has already been taken. Any comments from citizens? Moving on from there, moving on to public safety. Fire department, activity reports in the packet. Anything you want to point out?
That's a basic month. We did do, fire safety at the schools and the fire station. First graders, I think, came and did the fire station, and me and some guys went to the school and did the kindergartner, so that's always a lot of fun. Teachers sit there trying to tell them kids not to say nothing. It's hard for them not to do. Whatever. It's fun.
So you were called out for a controlled leaf fire?
For a what?
Controlled leaf fire?
Well, yeah, but I mean, people drive by and they don't know what's going on, they just use that cell phone, so I mean, when we get there, somebody probably, that happens more than once, people don't stay there and sit there and go take a look, they just drive by and say, oh, there's a fire, and they keep on trucking. We get there and it's just leaves burning or a barbecue grill or something like that, we cook.
Okay, any other?
Well, the only other thing I would like to bring up, if Heather doesn't mind, we've been talking about gear and stuff. You notice we had a car fire the other day in Hubble parking lot. And I walked up there, I got there a little late, walked up there and seen some firemen, one that didn't have no pants and this and that, so I'm thinking that's on me. So my idea, Heather's been working on a grant for gear. I think our best bet is to maybe use the grant, maybe if we get it for air packs or something, take the air pack money, we look them over, we think we can make them last a couple of years and use that money for the air pack to get the gear. I mean, the gear, I think we figured, or the air packs, we figured 24,000 or so this year for 4 sets or so. I think we put the money and get the gear. You gotta have the gear if you have the air pack on anyway. And get the gear, and then maybe do a lease purchase or something like that. You know, I've got the papers where we talked about that, that's what you all's doing, but I just think it'd be smart if we just get all the gear, maybe pay for half of it this year instead of the air packs, and next year either, you know, do the lease purchase or another set of 4 gear or air packs and pay for it all that way, and then we'll have all our gear correct and go from there.
Yeah, we need to do something.
We gotta do something.
You know what's going on, so if that's,
And the grants,
that's what you want.
we're looking at possibly, we would get it next year,
Right.
possibly the same time next year. Cause they just released the funds for last year's grant about a couple weeks ago.
Where's the application?
I have to, because they just, opened it up just recently.
I mean, if you needed air packs, then we
Well, we
revisit
looked
that.
at the air packs, you know, we got them from Columbia, when Columbia bought all new ones, so I mean, I think, you know, Donnie and all of them, we can make them work for as many times as we use them during the year or so, but that gear's gotta be,
The gear's the number one
yeah, it's it.
critical need at this point in time. And if we've
What
got,
do we gotta do? Nothing?
Just
or
get some, we'll just get some quotes on gear and, I don't know, there's probably only a few places where you can get it anyway, so.
Yeah, I've
just get
got
some
one,
numbers.
I've got one set, one bid right here from Banner Fire, where we got the new little truck and all this and that, so, I mean, we need to start somewhere and get something going.
yeah.
Is there no money at all for it in your budget, Denny?
Oh, yeah, there is, but I mean, we were trying to do things around this way to try something else first, but this is gonna be more important than,
Yeah.
There's still a question, we had that gift money, if any of this would qualify for that. We used to pay off part of the fire truck. And there was some money left over.
There was some,
there should be about 80,000, I think, I think so.
Yeah, I think the only stipulation on that was it had to be used for fire equipment.
Fire
which
equipment.
this would
Gear is
Life-saving,
equipment.
I remember life-saving equipment or
And I
something
mean,
like
I
that.
mean, and I
That's the
think
phrase that sticks. I don't
if we
remember.
go to them, if we go to the family and tell them that's what we should do anyway, and say, hey,
Yeah.
I'm sure they would.
we have
It is
87,000 in that fund that we could use for
The
that.
gear, I mean, 22 sets of gear from here. $59,000.
So we wouldn't even have to do a lease purchase in that regard, we could
We
just
can
pay
use
for it
that
out of that
money.
money.
How much are your air packs?
About 4,000 for a set per
How many
person,
sets?
huh?
You need how many sets?
Well, I mean, for 4,000, you get a bottle, a pack, and maybe an extra bottle, and a face mask, so.
But how many people how many sets do you normally have? Would you
You're
like to
about
have,
4
I
this
guess,
year.
is-
We
Like
probably
fives.
have 12 with like 24 extra bottles. But we were gonna try to we thought about doing 2 this year, but I'd feel more comfortable with 4, that way you have 2 people on backup and a new bottle, you know, something like that. So we were thinking about doing 4 this year.
This is mission critical in many ways when you think about it. If we can use that money, we should buy the gear and any of the air packs that we can get with it. And, you know, that will set up our fire department in a good place for, you know, at least several years or so, and then we can hopefully put a little money aside for their budget.
Well, I mean, if gear, you know, the NSP, if they're just gonna rate it for 10 years, and I don't know how steady, you know, at home you save money for something, I don't know if you can do that in the city budget or not, but it, you know, you need to kind of plan, say, okay, 10 years, we need to set aside $6,000 again every year for.
I mean, this could save a life. our lives. I mean, this
I mean, this
is,
is,
after the fact, we'll be wishing we did do that.
this is protecting the people who are going to help save lives.
And all new gear, then each year you can put that money back for in 10 years, you can make this other country stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's, some of the gear is good, but, I mean, like I said, they put a stipulation on the year, what it's good for, and it's kind of a no-win situation in some of it.
It's the right thing to do to replace the equipment if there's a way for us to replace the equipment. So if we can use those funds, I said we get quotes and.
They're figuring, you know, I mean, we're talking, it's complete, I'm talking from your foot to the top of your head, so.
Yeah, that includes boots and everything.
Everything.
Is there any place else that you can get a quote for? I mean, I know it's
Yeah,
probably.
I'll look and see tomorrow or something, but,
I mean, if you can get one, then we can have it on the agenda for Monday.
yeah. Yeah, and then I'll give you a copy of this here.
That'd be great.
Thank you for keeping it in front of us. Any other?
That's all I have.
Okay. Bob?
Yeah.
I'm here. Reports here. Any, thing you want to point
Yeah,
out?
the only thing I've got really is to let you all know that the new RMS system, new in the vehicle system is working. It has been a learning curve, big time. And that curve is still ongoing, but, we are making progress.
Do you have any questions on the activity report for the police? Anything for emergency management? Protective inspection? Actually talked the demolition update already.
Okay.
Sorry, had a long,
That's okay.
almost fit with what we were talking about at the time. Okay, so we'll move on to the general government and finance. There's a packet in from the chamber, or is it just an agenda?
That was the agenda for
What was-
Tuesday, last week.
No, today.
And then I didn't have mentioned that, I looked for
Oh,
one for
okay.
today. But there's information in here regarding the National Register, nomination proposal. And this was presented at the chamber meeting today from Deb Shields, who does historic preservation projects. And so, we've been working, Jenny and I have been talking about this, and actually it was brought up by Carly Conklin, who owns, the old guard building. It was recently Cornerstone Baptist Church on the corner of Sneed and Allen. And she was interested in getting a historic designation for her building, because she's planning to do some major renovations and open up some retail space in it, and possibly even some apartment buildings eventually because it's actually 3 stories, 3 floors in that building. So, whenever we were talking to Carly, she brought Deb Shields in and we started talking to her, and so Deb, was able to kind of map out what we could do to make a downtown historic district for Centralia. So we just presented it today at the chamber meeting. The cost for the eligibility assessment is $650. The chamber has already agreed to pay that, to see if we would even be eligible and what businesses would be eligible. And then for the full register nomination, would be $15,750 minus the $650 for the eligibility assessment. So ultimately, we would like to see, businesses that would benefit from that designation to help pitch in on the cost. But this would also be something for maybe the city to consider, the board will consider, to see if we want to be part of that as well. Our building would be included. It would be a contributing building to the downtown historic district. So there are certain tax credits. She said it is, even if we get the designation, it does not mean that we can't renovate our building, we can't change it, things like that. She said that's a misconception, that you can't alter your building in any way once it's deemed historic, but, anyway, so could be beneficial to us, it could be beneficial to a lot of the downtown. And really, it could be more of a tourist type attraction. We have a downtown historic district, but there are tax credits for people who are gonna do some renovations.
Looks like City Hall's and it's old enough to be in this thing.
It is. We'll be 100 years old in just a little over 4 years.
Jenny said there might be a way of getting a grant to actually cover the cost of the addition.
Yes, Jenny did say that. She was talking to Deb about that today. I don't know what came of that. It sounded unfavorable.
Well, I was gonna say, Deb didn't act like it was a possibility hardly at all. She said there's so little money out there for that type of thing.
Yep. But she's identified 18 to 22 buildings in this area that could qualify, so.
I don't understand what qualifies and what doesn't, though. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I think we gotta tell them to hold off on the Narragansett building, we have to start putting bricks back up.
Too late, Matt, too
Unfortunately,
late.
it looks too different.
Get them bricks back, boys.
Okay,
Start stacking them.
Not much difference on up or down, it's about the
so
same.
what action needs to come from this group for discussion?
Nothing now. It really is just something to keep in mind, and if this is something that you all would like to pursue, I think we need to wait for the eligibility assessment to come back first, because the chamber is taking care of that portion of it, that $650 of that. And then if the city was willing to help contribute toward the total overall cost, a little over we would not really do $15,000 obviously, but maybe contribute some towards that, then that would be a board decision.
Okay. So let's see, there's also chamber news for the holidays, Small Business Saturday, November 30th, open house downtown cookie crawl chocolate walk on December 7th.
They decided to call it Sweet
I'm just reading what
Saturday.
was here.
Sweet Saturday,
Sweet
yeah.
Saturday.
Something
Sweet
like that
Saturday.
anyway, yeah.
That's a little better than that mouthful. And then, so the 7th, Breakfast of Santa, Jingle Cookie Sale, Gingerbread House Contest,
Oh, and the map is supposed to be there, our
painting.
puzzle piece, I should
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Painting of Boone County Bicentennial Centralia Puzzle Piece, 9 a.m. to 12, Friendship Place on December 7th. Tractor Parade on the 20th.
I have to ask a question about the tractor parade. Why is it on a Friday?
I don't know.
That's just when, as far as I know, that's just when the people that organized it decided they wanted it.
Mhm. It's the young farmers that actually organize it. And I think it just started being the 3rd Friday of December, and it's just stuck.
Just curious. We have basketball games and stuff like that going on.
Oh,
So
right.
it's-
So, where's the Town Wrestling Tournament that weekend?
There's some other December activities out in the packet in the chamber. Go to the park board, packet, and the agenda and meeting minutes from October 22nd are in the packet. Those for the public library from October 10th. Didn't see anything from the cemetery or tree boards.
There is, the library, I'm sorry, there was a request from the library, so we have, the city has control of, well, it's a library debt service, account, and, it was a special tax for renovation of the library. The tax is no longer assessed, but we still receive some money every month trickling in, to that account. We put the money, the tax money, we actually deposit it into a separate checking account at Central Bank every month. So that account is sitting out there with a little over $10,000 in it, and it is the library's money. So they're requesting $6,880 to pay for a recent landscaping project for the library, and that would need board approval or vote on the.
That's their money essentially, just.
Yes, we just have to give permission to release it.
Financial statements are in the packet. accounts payable over $1,250. Any questions on the financials or the bills? Okay. Anything for other general government? Okay, and police chief's report is on page 70. Anything you want to point out, Bob?
No.
Okay. And then we have a rezoning request, notice of public hearings.
This is just for your information. This is Darren Adams' rezoning request. Whenever he made the previous request, everything was all on one paper. Whenever the Planning and Zoning Commission voted on it, they did try to separate it out, but they could not. So whenever they denied one, they denied it all, essentially. Or when he withdrew one, he withdrew it all. So he has submitted 3 separate rezoning requests. The trailer court on Alco Street is actually not for the rezoning request on Alco and Allen is not for the trailer court part portion of that lot. It's just for a 70 by 105 foot section to the west of the trailers.
And he must have rezoned it to R3.
Yeah.
He's gonna have anything like this time than last time.
And then he just wants to do the house on Allen and Southwest.
Yeah.
And Allen Street in Lakeview, right?
Yes.
And why doesn't he want to do the trailers?
You mentioned at the planning and zoning that he had a private investor interested in doing something that wouldn't require it to be changed from an R1.
Well, he told us he had the whole thing, that whole block with an investor for that. Not just for the trailers, he had a whole investor, but
He did
now
not
he
submit-
don't.
He did not submit plans for what he plans to do with it.
Good
And
luck.
at planning and zoning, we are going to discuss our rezoning process and presents possibly an application so that whenever somebody submits or wants to rezone, that they have to fill out the application. And then we'd also like to possibly impose a fee for the application because it does cost some money to put all of it together, to advertise in the Guard, and just the time it takes for the rezoning request itself, so.
So as of now, we do that free.
Mhm.
Do we have to vote, have a public vote to
Yeah.
approve the fee?
I'm sure, because it would change the zoning process, it would change the zoning code, because it would change the process in the code.
Well, I mean, do we have to have a vote of the citizens?
Oh, yeah, we have to have, I don't know if we have to have a vote of the citizens.
I suspect we do, but I don't know.
We
Sydney
couldn't-
did, I'll check with Sydney too on that.
We couldn't
We'll go
enforce
slow.
that on this deal though.
No.
I was gonna say, that'd be.
It can be retroactive.
Give damn deal.
If there's not a way to do a full fee, maybe it's they have to pay for the public notices. There may be a way to do that, because salaries come from the taxes, citizens pay, stuff like that, but the paying for the public notices for these rezoning requests, I would think the person asking for the request should pay that cost.
Not to mention, we sent out 45 public notices to people within 185 feet of these properties. So the postage on that, the time it took to get all that put together, but the advertisement in the Guard cost a little over $131 just for the public hearing notice. So, I mean, it gets up there pretty quickly.
Get them prices down a little, James.
Okay,
You start driving that.
we have a closed
sketch
session
for
on our
$5 an hour.
agenda. Is it both points?
There actually should be 3, but it's just the first 2, not that last one.
Okay. Any volunteers to read us into closed session?
It can't be any worse than the deal I read.
Okay, Alderman Rogers, will you read us into closed session, please?
What do we not have to read the whole thing? We just,
There's just, as provided for under section 610.0213, don't read that part. So you have to read 1 and 2.
you don't have to do the 1603?
Right.
Make a motion, we go into closed session. During the meeting, the Board of Aldermen may elect to go into closed session and hold a closed vote, and the purpose of such a closed session and closed vote shall be: one is provided for under section 610.021, Division 1 of the revised statutes of Missouri for legal actions, causes of action or litigation involving a public government body, and any confidential or privileged communication between a public government body or its representatives and its attorneys. 2 is provided for under section 610.021, Revision 2, leasing, purchase, or sale of real estate by a public governmental body where public knowledge of the transaction might adversely affect the legal consideration therefore, and
We have a
keep
motion.
on going.
No. Do that.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and second. Roll call vote, please.
Who motioned that?
Tom Rogers?
Alderman Motley? Yes. Alderman Hudson?
Yes.
Alderman Magley?
Yeah.
Alderman Rogers?
Four.
Alderman Boardman?
Yes.
Go into closed session.
Chris, we're gonna go into closed session. Do you want me to call you in there?
He's the one making the motion. He's starting-
Yep, I will.
He's the one who's going to start out saying you moved.
Huh?
I'm gonna stop the
Okay, the only vote taken was to come back into open session. We discussed items as covered in these statutes. Any as may arise?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?